Hi there. Okay, we're going to take a look at a video posted recently by Ranty Flat Earth. This apparently is a globe-busting flat smack, as Ranty's videos generally do. They're apparently going to show us that there is no curvature, that the Earth is flat, and that we're seeing objects in the far distance that we shouldn't be able to see if the Earth is curved as we say it is. So I'm going to show you a quick portion of the video just to show the observation, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, that's enough, and my internet was breaking up there a little bit, but you get the idea. This over here is the top of a building called Devonshire Dock Hall in Barrow-in-Furness. So Ranty goes on to show his location and talk about his height above sea level. I'll just tell you what he said because we'll talk about that as we look at the other details. So this is Ranty's location, just by Blackpool Pleasure Beach. He's on the beach by the mirror ball, which is just here. There's the mirror ball, and there he was at the bottom of this ramp. That's all fine. He was looking across the water over at Barrow-in-Furness, and this is a distance of 23.7 miles. So let's just take a look. And there it is. These are the buildings over in Barrow. And this here is Devonshire Dock Hall. This is the building you saw on the video, and we'll delve into some detail on Devonshire Dock Hall itself. So, come out of that. This is Devonshire Dock Hall. It's a huge building. As we can see on the Wikipedia page, it's the tallest building in Cumbria at 51 metres tall. So we know it's big, but it's 51 metres. Now, according to Ranty, he was 23.7 miles away, and the Google Earth confirms that. And his viewing height above sea level was 13.2 feet. He went on to confirm this in a subsequent video that I'll talk about at the end. I'm not disputing that. His view height at 13.2 feet would mean that a good portion of Devonshire Dock Hall should be hidden behind curvature, in fact all of it. So let's have a look at the curve calculator. Distance in miles 23.7, view height 13.2 feet. I'm going to switch this to metric because the rest of the measurements are in metric. So that means that a refracted hidden area is 62.2 metres, taller than Devonshire Dock Hall, and he could see it, so how can that be? Just before we move on, a quick word about refracted hidden area, before anyone starts shouting about that, using the refracted and not just the hidden. Refraction is a thing, it happens, especially over water, and a lot of Ranty's latest videos are talking about refraction and mirages and how he believes that they are compressing images. We're not going to get into that now, but you certainly can't have it both ways. If you're going to talk about refraction causing image compression, then you need to allow for refraction in your curve calculator when looking at what we should see on the globe. So 62.2 meters should be hidden. But what Ranty didn't talk about, what he didn't look at, was the elevation of Devonshire Dock Hall. So back to Google Earth and zoom in on Devonshire Dock Hall. This is Ranty's line of sight here, this red line. So we're seeing the building at a slight angle. He'll be seeing this side of the building and the front there. Now the elevation reading on Google Earth, just down here, if we hover over Devonshire Dock Hall, then it's as high as 20 metres. It changes a little bit as we go. In fact, it drops down quite significantly over here, down to about 12 metres. We know the building is the same height all the way along. It's not on a severe slope. The reason for that difference in elevation is because we can see this ridge here. This entire area is built up, and the land underneath, which is what Google Earth is showing as its elevation reading, is on a mound. So at the highest point here, it's 20 metres. Now we can confirm this using a topographic map available online. Again, here's Devonshire Dock Hall, and if you click on the map, it shows your elevation. Now this goes as high as 81 feet. If we plug in 81 feet, that's actually closer to 25 metres, not 20. But I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, and I'll go for the lower reading of 20 metres from Google Earth. I think that's fair. So we know that Devonshire Dock Hall is 51 metres tall, and we know that the elevation underneath it, above sea level, is 20 metres. So that's a total height of 71 metres. Now we already established from the curve calculator that the hidden area, allowing for a standard refraction, is 62.2 metres. So that means there should be an area at the top of Devonshire Dock Hall of 8.8 metres that's still visible. And if we work that out as a percentage, then that means that 17% of the 51 metre height of Devonshire Dock Hall should still be visible above the horizon. So Ranty, you really have to take elevation into account. You can't just talk about your elevation above sea level and ignore the elevation of the building. That's just dishonest. So again, this is Devonshire Dock Hall, and you can see it now from the side. It's a very tall building. It's a ship construction site. You can see it in comparison just to these houses here. This is a 3-story house, and yeah, that is a tall building. So why don't we see these houses? Why don't we see these big black areas on the front of the building? Why don't we see this enormous height of the building here? Now I've worked this out at the at that 17% or so that's visible. It's about 1/6, just under, and it's about there. So this area underneath would all be hidden, should all be hidden. You won't see these black boxes, whatever they are. You certainly won't see these houses. You would see this section up here. So let's take a look. This is a still from Ranty's video. There's the area. I've enhanced it a little bit just so we can make out the this area up here. And if we overlay a section from Devonshire Dock Hall, we can see that overlays pretty damn well. So, Ranty, the question is, why not allow for elevation of the building? Why not allow for total height? Why are you only looking at the height of Devonshire Dock Hall itself? Now, I said that he went back and made another video, and he did. And this is actually the most hilarious thing about this whole story. So a few days later, he went back and did a 27-minute live stream. This 27-minute live stream was a data collection exercise. Ranty basically went back to the same spot, and determined the tide height at the time he was there. He determined the tide height at the time he took his initial observation, and from that he calculated his actual distance above sea level at 13.2 feet. That's fine. But Ranty, why in any of those 27 minutes did you not lift the camera up and point it towards Devonshire Dock Hall and take another observation when the tide was in? Why didn't you take another look and see if you could see it when the tide was in? Now my guess is that before he started the live stream, he did exactly that and realised he couldn't see it. Otherwise, why wouldn't he have shown it? Why wouldn't he have shown it? It just makes no sense whatsoever. It would have put another nail in the coffin of Globe Earth. To be able to see that building with a high tide would have been phenomenal. That would have shown that you are seeing something that you shouldn't be seeing, and I just don't understand why he didn't make the observation. The only reason I could think of is that he did make the observation and he couldn't see Devonshire Dock Hall. So good try, Ranty, but better luck next time.